Can you hear me? Can you give me just 1 minute? I need to swap my Wi-Fi. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
1 minute. Sorry, what is it? Okay, I'm set. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Sorry, I'm trying to, let me increase the volume here.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you very well.
We'll go. A very warm good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to once again welcome you to this edition of Inside the Arena, season 34. And we have inside the arena today a very distinguished Nigerian, a very distinguished engineer, a professor of metallurgical engineering, a recipient of the National Honor of the Officer of the Order of the Niger, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a fellow of the Academy of Engineering, who is currently the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of Olabisi Onabanjo University. In fact, his resume is very rich. I know I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So today we have inside the arena, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest, Engineer Professor TOYIN, ASHIRU, FNSE, FAEng, OON, and many other fellows. We are going to be seeing all he has accomplished in his lifetime in the course of this. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me thank you very much for inviting me to the arena. I must confess, this may be my first time of actually being a guest on the arena. It has never really coincided with my meeting, so I don't know the format, I don't know the procedure. You have also not told me much about how it's done. So I take it that it's very formal. Whatever I do right is for it's because I've done it right. Whatever I did wrong is because it's your fault, because you don't brief me properly. Okay, thank you.
No, you did everything right. I believe that.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to have you too. And my name is Engineer Ben O.C. Oka. By the special grace of God, I'm the host. I want to welcome our participants who have joined us for today's program. I want to welcome all our participants, and I want to also set the ground rule for today's event. We have 3 segments of this program. The first segment is what we call the direct free kick, and where all the questions are directed to the guest by the host, and then he will do us the honor of responding to some of the questions. And after that, we go to the corner kick segment, where the participants are also given the privilege to ask the guest questions. And after that, we go to the what we call the extra time segment, where we also put the participants on the hot seat. And these are the 3 segments of this program for today. And we are going to do justice to that in a very short time we have for today, because our guest is a very busy man. We are going to try as much as we can to do it within the time available for us. Okay, once again, you are welcome to Inside the Arena season 34. Season 34 with Engineer TOYIN ASHIRU. So it's my pleasure to have you once again. In a nutshell, who is Engineer TOYIN ASHIRU? Can you share a brief insight about your birth, your family background, and maybe your academic, background?
Thank you very much. I will try as much as possible to be as informal as possible. I may, if I miss anything, know that I'm now in that age bracket where you forget things easily. So, but if I remember anything, I can go back again to fill gaps if it happens. Because it's very formal. But I've put small notes on my desk, which I can just look at from time to time to see that I'm not going too far from the scheme of things. I was born on July 28th. That has to be precise, not about 1954. So exactly 70 years ago. I was what I would call a miracle child. My mother was married for 13 years before she had me. 13 years of barrenness, and I came in. They called me miracle or wonder child, unexpected, and it happened after me. I had 5 siblings in succession of average of 2 years, making 5 more siblings, making 6 support for my mother. But I have something also interesting to tell about my family. Because I have to give you all this background because it will let you know what formed me to be what I am today. I'm from a family of 19 wives.
19 wives.
19 wives, 90 children.
Wow.
And from my mom, we are 6. And that actually, I grew up in what I call a mega polygamous house family, where the home is vibrant, engaging, with plenty of love with my siblings. And we have siblings that span over an age gap of about 25, 30 years, wide age gap. So we are able to see different generations growing in my time and also have different ways. But one interesting thing is that my father put a lot of emphasis on education. In fact, what he always tells us is that the only legacy I have for you, the only thing you can inherit from me is education. You can read as far as you want, I will support you. However, after that, there's nothing left for you. So we all know that education is very important. So of the 90 children we have, most of us are graduates in fields from medicine, law, agriculture, economics, technology, sociology, architecture, music, education, business education, and so on. All sorts of professions were in my house. So growing up, seeing my older ones growing up, and also cousins and families, it made my pattern to decide what I want to do in life. And initially, what I wanted to do was that, well, I want to become a medical doctor because my most senior brother, who came in from US when I was very young, came in from US with a degree as a surgeon. He was one of the first Nigerian surgeons in Nigeria, US surgeons in Nigeria. And the fanfare that he came to Nigeria, I think in 1966 or 67. That's about almost 60 years ago now. The fanfare that accomplished his return to Nigeria was so much that I said, I want to be like this guy. So that when I too return back, when I grew up, I want to be like him because he was very highly referred, doctor. Since then, we had other brothers who have become doctors, but I also said, I want to become a doctor. Without actually examining myself, that I did not have the character, the patience, and what it takes to be a doctor. All I thought was that I would just face my physics, chemistry, biology, study, make sure I pass them at A level, and then go to medical school. I was admitted to the University of Ibadan in 1972 or so, or 73. And my plan was to study medicine. And believe you me, when I entered the medical school, I realized that it's not for me. And I struggled for 2-3 years, actually 3 years in University of Ibadan, tried to adjust to the medical school, but I really could not do it because I was not actually meant to be a doctor, to be honest with you. Even the first day I entered the lab, the anatomy lab, and I saw cadaver. Believe you me, I almost fainted. Cadaver is a dead human being. We have to cut for anatomy. I actually fainted, actually, I can tell you. For almost 3 days, I could not eat food. It was so scary to me. Then I also realized that I hate the sight of blood. And I also know that I don't have the patience of a doctor. So I know I've really messed up myself in terms of career learning. I'm saying this because the younger ones here can learn a lot about life. And then who am I? So I started thinking that maybe I should move away from medicine, but I don't have the courage to tell my parents. So I actually wasted 3 years in Ibadan doing nothing, just struggling to move on in the medical career, which I'm not equipped to be. So I became a fun lover. So my remaining time in university was spent on fun, going to parties, discoing, student union, and all the like. I don't do much. It took almost 4 years for my parents to realize that I was doing nothing. So they then called me one day and said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I really don't know. Maybe I want to go into industry. I want to go into business world." So yeah, I was born with abroad to go and refund my story, recruit myself. And then when I got to England, the story of how I got to university in England is very interesting, but it will take a lot of time to discover. But I'm just writing on my memo. It's well documented in my memo, in my autograph. I was looking to go into the business school or doing economics or business administration, but I realized that I'm basically a science student. I really cannot survive. And as fate will have it, that's why I call myself luck and destiny. I run into someone in the train on my way going to Birmingham, who happened to be the admission officer in the University of Sussex. The story of our meeting, if I start saying it, it will take about 1 hour. So I will not discuss it, but you can catch up later in my memo. And he said to me, "What are you trying to do? Do you want to become you want to go to university?" And we click up. He became more like a father to me, a British guy, who said to me, "Why not consider studying engineering?" I said, "Engineering?" I know I was very strong. I did A-level, I did at O-level in those days. I did additional mathematics, and I had A. So I know I'm strong in mathematics. I said, "Well, with that, we can train you, coach you to go to engineering school." And that's how I entered engineering school at the University of Sussex in England in 1976, I believe. And when I started, I was struggling. And then they recognized for me a remedial course in mathematics, which I did. And through that measure, I caught up my classmates. And in less than 2 years that I was in the class, I was top of the class. And I became a demonstrator college teacher in those days, teaching my colleagues, those that are a year behind me, teaching them as part-time. I ended up at the University of Sussex, top of the class in engineering when I graduated in later after 3 years. At that time, my intention and my plan was to rush back to Nigeria to start making money because that time people were looking for engineers. I studied metallurgical engineering. That was the time that I started Ajaokuta steel rolling mill. There's a lot of job. A lot of steel plants are set up in Nigeria. They were looking for metallurgical engineers. So with my degree, first degree, I said I'm going to go back home and start doing that. But believe me, my professors had another plan for me. They insisted that that they would not let me go, that there are a lot of things that they can see tap in my expertise. So be it. They started giving me a lot of problems that I must stay. And then in a way, I felt flattered. And with scholarship, so I got what they call Science and Engineering Research Council CAST Award, which is a special scholarship where you'll be paid as if you are working, and also they pay your school fees, and they will also pay you for your allowances as if you are working, and so you really don't feel the pressure. When that was offered to me, I said, well, that will keep me in England. And I then did my PhD in about 2.5 years, I did masters and PhDs combined, but they call it special regulations. Where I did not, so I never had the masters. My masters and PhD were combined. In the shelf where I still probably show the 266, where my masters was converted to PhD in 2.5 years. So that's how I did PhD in engineering, and I then immediately became a researcher. The work I did, my story about invention started from the undergraduate level. My project at undergraduate level was used.
Can I come in? Before we go to your to that segment of your career, still on the academy, how old were you when you completed your PhD?
I completed my PhD at the age of, I believe, 28.
Wow, 28.
1982, yeah, 28 years.
1982.
1982. That's why that I've wasted about
2 years, you said.
About 3 years in university in Nigeria, playing around. But I'm also remind you that, yeah, 1982, I completed my PhD.
What informed your choice for metallurgical engineering? At that particular time, it was a time when most young men would have opted for courses like electrical, civil, or chemical, and maybe any other, the orthodox, let me put it that way, the orthodox engineering, disciplines.
I will ask you a question. Yeah, I did not, frankly, choose to become a mechanical engineer. I was thinking more of studying chemical engineering, but because I would never want to be a mechanical engineer or civil engineer. I don't have the flair going on the field or being on job sites where they're building houses. So I was thinking more of chemical engineering because I was very strong in chemistry. But I attended a seminar where it was on metallurgical engineers, what it's all about, what you do to become a metallurgical engineer. And I found out that most of the things I really want to be in life, I noticed in metallurgical engineering, because it gave me an idea to know that because let's face it, when I go back to Nigeria, there was no active department of metallurgy in Nigeria. I was lecturing in chemistry, in mechanical engineering department. I fitted in. When I moved to, even at same Unilag, I changed to chemical engineering department. Then when I moved to Badon, I was lecturing mechanical engineering department. I've never really worked in any metallurgical engineering department, and yet I studied metallurgical engineering, but I've fitted into mechanical. Even now, I'm even in the Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers. I'm the chairman board of fellows. In civil engineering, I work with them in the area of a corrosion of rebar and concrete, rebar corrosion and concrete. And my course was metallurgical materials and metallurgical engineering. So I was also work with polymer engineers in chemical engineering. So I had the opportunity to mix and work with different branches of engineering. That's actually what led me to metallurgical engineering. And coupled with the fact that at that time, Ajaokuta steel plant was about to start in Nigeria. So I thought I'd be one of the pioneers who would work in the plant, although I never really worked there. I was only a consultant for the Ajaokuta industry. That effect is what actually led me to it. So it is superior knowledge that I was getting from different people on the way the world was going at that time in terms of materials development. Well, and I remember a professor, his name is Professor Scott, who said to us, if you look at most of the invention of mankind is available now, but the limitation in getting that is materials and metals to achieve it. I remember at that time, they were discussing about liquid crystal. Liquid crystal was developed by metallurgical engineers and materials engineers. If you notice that before, this small calculator, the calculator that I can show you here, used to be, which doesn't do any function than just multiply number. I went to visit it in Cambridge. Is the size of the calculator, they call it computer actually, is the size of of a whole house with cooling towers, which is about four floors top cooling towers to cool it. It is metallurgists and metallurgists that invented the materials, liquid crystals and all the like, and changed down into shapes that made it possible to minimize. And if we go also in the field of production, chemical engineering, find that limitation has always been the fact that there are no materials for man to express itself in terms of man discovery. So that's what led me into metallurgical engineering.
Let me ask you, you said something when you were studying in Nigeria, you were a jolly good fellow.
Yeah.
And tell us about your early life, and as also an undergraduate. What can you share some of the most memorable events of your life as an undergraduate?
When I was in Ibadan, social life was a major part of my life. Going to parties, discoursing, partying, and I would not encourage that for the use of today. I cannot call myself an ideal example of a good student. So if I'm saying this on this platform and there are younger ones, I'm misleading them, okay? But yes, I had a good time as a student when I was young. There's a club I formed at that time called Voodoo Club. It's still existent up to today. And also there's another club I was very active in, the We Club. Those of you who must have known about the We Club. They are not registered club, but they are still active social club. All we do is parties, enjoying and having a good time. But let me just share something with you. I will call myself, this is opportunity for me to actually talk about educational system in the Nigerian education system at that time. It does not give you opportunities to, when I got to Ibadan to study medicine, these days I could be able to transfer to another department and do something else. I was stuck. It's either working and fail and leave. There's no other opportunity. When I got to England, I was within weeks and days, I was able to change. I finally found myself in mechanical engineering. I had no opportunity at all to move in my career. I realized in my education, I was stuck. And that's why when I went back to lecture with Pastor Ibadan, I said to them, I know I'm debating from your question, but I'm going to more important part of it. I told them, play hard and also work hard. Because when I got to Pastor Ibadan, there is, when I was giving a lecture one day, I told the people in the audience, I said, the man you are talking to today is a reject. I was actually left university because of poor academic performance, and I'm back here today as a lecturer with PhD.
I think now you are talking about, because that's part of the next question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Tell us your life, share your life experience as a lecturer, because we have Engineer ASHIRU as a lecturer, Engineer ASHIRU as chairman of different organizations. We are going to touch some of the organizations you have had your career stint with. Then we want to begin with the university community. How was life in the university community?
I went to university community as a choice. Let me share with you my experience, how I got to university and how university community is. It will go a long way to demonstrate how my mind worked at that time. When I was coming to Nigeria, my passage back to Nigeria was paid for by Metabox. Metabox was, I don't know, they were making them, they do cans and all the like. And then I was hoping to join Ajakuta if possible, but the bureaucracy of government slowed the process down. Then Mobile also employed me. I was offered 4,800 naira a month salary. That's about $5,000 at that time a month. I'm not kidding you, starting salary. I opted to go to University of Lagos to earn 850 naira a month. That's 150. So my going to academics was not driven by, but if I start saying that, it may also be misleading. Even though I was earning 850 a month, I did not stay in university accommodation. I had my own accommodation provided by my parents. So because I don't want to give wrong impression that yes. So I didn't have to bother about rent. And also, I was getting extra money instead of my salary being taken, they are paying me for rent, okay? I also did not. So I went for that. That should show you something about the fact that I really wanted, but by the time I finished my PhD, and then we did that, I was looking for what I would call opportunity to be able to push forward the knowledge I gained from the PhD research period. And most of my work led to patents. That's why I have so many patents today. And believe you me, I'm still living on patents in terms of income till today. And I'm talking about more than 40 years ago, or about 40 years ago. Now, I'm what we call a town and gown academician. Everything that I do, if it does not have a result oriented that will be of benefit to market, I do not do it. If you come, for example, when I was in Ibadan, I found out that factories in Ibadan, factories in Nigeria are importing clay. And what they said that there are no suitable clay. I want to go to rudimentary engineering. I said, what is in this clay that's so important? They gave us the parameters of the clay. I work on research. I then found out that OON in Ibadan, a village outside of Ibadan, there's a special clay there. I started to take that clay and then to start to go through process. I've got those processes now to make it become conducive for making refractory lining for furnaces. So Nigerian Furnaces Limited was so excited when we started telling them about clay. They funded my research, even bought me a car at that time, so that we are able to start coming to Lagos from Ibadan. So that until they started lining it. So as I said, my ASHIRU to university has been town and gown. When even, and with the grace of God, I've been able to say that I've been able to express myself to different parts of the globe. I lectured in England. I was academics in US. I'm an academic in Saudi Arabia for many years. I'm one of the people that started the metallurgy research in materials for oil processing plants. I invented the first new material for detecting crack in SAR production, crack in SAR steel production. So those things. So I've been a researcher that industry. So migrating from academics to industry was very easy to do because I already have contacts in industry. So I was easily been invited into boards until so that's how I actually started. So, and that's why I also never left the university. I still give pro bono service to universities. Covenant University, Faculty of Technology, there, I'm very active there. University of Lagos, I still assist. University of Ibadan from time to time. And also, I'm also very active in, I'm project of a university, as you know, all of university. That's why University of Education and universities even outside Nigeria, I still contribute there, like the University of Petroleum and Minerals in Saudi Arabia. So academics to me is to me, because there are three sides of academics: teaching, research, and society. And I found out that most lecturers put emphasis only in one of them or two of them, but I've contributed in all the three. That's why I'm part of the society. The other aspect you should realize is that when you're in university, okay, I'll give you an example. When I was Professor Badon, I noticed that some academicians, believe it or not, do not step out of that campus in years. Because the market is there, nursery is there for their child. There's secondary school, what's it called now? International school. The post office is inside the campus. The cafeteria, the shopping area is there. Even police station is there. Anything you need is inside the campus. So they don't step out of that campus. So they think about the whole world as the campus of the university, and they never had the opportunity to interact with this external world. But from the one, I never lived in any university campus as a lecturer. I live outside. I joined all the societies in town, clubs. I'm a member of clubs, different clubs where I meet with other people socially, and I was able to express my engineering feelings and engineering thought, engineering knowledge, and engineering business to the external world. I never lived in vacuum. That's a major mistake with two universities.
Well, I have people like you on the platform. I always like to ask them these kind of questions. You've given us some kind of clue of what you were able to achieve, accomplish. I will come back to the issue of that patent, and also, because it's good you throw more lights on it so that those who are also, because you have mentioned that you still benefit from that till today, so that those who maybe might have been giving up on some of the things, the researches they are doing, can also know that if they finally hit it, they can also make things out of it. Now, let's compare, because we also want to draw, you've talked about research, the need for those who are in the academic, community to always also, embrace what is, you say they don't leave the academic circle to, go to the industries and them. Now, where can you give us some of the incentives that you received during your time that, helped you, to achieve some of the things, no, not personal, but those that are available within the university community that, has supported you towards actualizing some of your research goals, and also compare that with the present, university community. Do they still have such things available in the present university community?
Well, let me say something to you quickly. I'm a child of destiny, luck, grace, and tenacity and character. All those are wove together. So if I start telling you a lot of things that happen in my life that are just sheer luck. Okay. So it depends on you how you want to make your life, will determine it. But things that you do sometimes now, if you don't know its consequence, because people don't actually make sacrifice. I've just told you how I dropped from taking 4,800 naira a month to say 950,000 naira, 950 naira a month. That's 1/4 reduction in salary. People thought I'm crazy, I'm mad, I'm not, it's a crazy guy. That's the truth. But I believe beyond that. And I gave you many examples of things that I've walked away from because of the larger picture I think is coming ahead. I don't even want to call it sacrifice. It's because I know that for example, I never studied before in the US. I never lived before in the US. I'm not married to an American. Today, I'm a US citizen. And a lot of my siblings have become US citizens because I filed for them. How did I become US citizen? I invented a product called shape memory alloy. And some years back, sorry, I have to, actually, this is the patent for that product. I got a gold award for that patent, okay? I was sitting down minding my own business one day. I was in Saudi Arabia in the lab, and I got a phone call from the US Embassy. And they said, US government, I've been following my research work in different areas, and they've been excited. I shared my patent and publications. And they are inviting me to become not US green card holder, but US citizen under a category called professional of extraordinary ability. That is the story of my becoming a US citizen. And I thought, what's about? I thought it was a 419 call, to be honest with you. This was sometimes in 1997. I thought this is, how can that be? And they came to visit me from Riyadh in Dammam, where I was, gave me papers to fill the paper, did some form, and within 2 weeks, I was already offered the papers to move to US. Okay? Of course, I moved my families there, I remained, and I keep on shortly between US. That's how I became a US citizen without living in America. Am I clear? That is a benefit of things I've done, which I did not know that has any gain, which I did not even make any money from, and which are being used now. Some of those things, if you Google my name, you can see them all around. I'm sure most of you will have Googled these days of Googling. So, and then let me also say something to you. I don't want to give you the impression that I'm an extra smart person. I'm not a genius, to be honest with you. My A-level was not great. My O-level was not great. I'm not all those all A's students. But I'm just somebody who works hard and conscientious and always goal motivated. For example, when I do things, I will pursue it to the end. And most of my invention also are not things that I did because I have a strong theoretical background of this field. They are things I do because I know there's a challenge in that one area. How do we resolve that challenge? It's after, and sometimes I get inspired, to be honest with you. Some just tell me, mix A and B, mix C and D, do this, not this, and you come with a product. Immediately that comes from, I make a note, I tried, it worked. So because I've seen people saying, oh, I invented that. No, I'm not a genius. I have a lot of patents, but there are things that comes through inspiration. I'm inspired. That is the truth. And when I now, for example, develop the product and it works, I will then work back to see the theory of how it worked. Geniuses will have a theory and then work forward to turn that theory to practical. Mine is the other opposite. I do things that people think are not possible. For example, I invented the first tin zinc alloy coating system in the world. People thought that tin and zinc, because of their distance in electrochemical theories, you can never find a common potential to bring them together to become a deposit. But I invented a method whereby you can have both complexing, which is a chemical reaction, and electroplating, which is a chemical reaction, come together to produce tin zinc alloy coating for protection of parts used in oil production and for aerospace applications. It's not, it looks a novel technique. A lot of people think a lot of thought about it, but believe me, it's simple thoughts that led to this so-called complex engineering process. Okay. The patent is somewhere hanging in my sitting room there. Okay. So the point I'm making is this: you have to be sincere with yourself that what you want to do with life. And my approach in answer to your question is that I know that I will be positive. I cannot cope to be an academician. I cannot work with the routines and day-to-day strategies, strategies both of industry. But I want to also have relevance in industry. And that's why I've worked in different parts of industry. I've worked in, and by the way, today, if you ask me what I do now, I'm a finance man. Most of my work
now come to that.
Yeah. So
we come to that.
What I make myself
now, but I want to ask you also now.
Let me finish quickly. So what I'm meant to do is to make myself somebody who create knowledge, awareness, learn, and use what I learn to make myself productive to the community. That's all. Engineering plays a little role even in my inventions. There are engineering inventions, but they are not because I'm an engineer, because I know, because I don't really know. I'm not even. I think the best thing, the only proof that I've done well was that I became top of the class when I was in University of Sussex. But it was because I was a mature student at that time. So I was able to read ahead of my class and to do well. So anybody can become anything. That is what I'm trying to pass around. That even people who are not so-called genius like myself can still do a lot that make people think that they're genius, which they are not. Thank you very much.
Let me ask you about the engineering practice. You know, we are also moving from the academic world to the engineering practice. You have practiced engineering, you know, in different countries of the world. Can you does engineering have a future in the Nigeria of next 50 years? You know, definitely. If you draw a line with what you had during your time and also what you have now and where we are progressing to, do you think that there is any light at the end of the engineering tunnel in future in Nigeria?
Yes. What you should ask yourself is where is engineering going in the future? If you know where engineering is going in the future, I can tell you from advantage of point of view of someone who's raising finances for people, for startups, that Nigeria today, engineering is going far. In the area of fintech, for example, if you count 3-4 countries, Nigeria is ahead. In medical engineering, of technology engineering, Nigeria is far ahead of most countries. Nigerians are doing very well. If today, even though I'm an American citizen, I have I go to US for my medical checkup and all, because I get free medical treatment, and I also have insurance by different organizations abroad. I will first do my medical test and examination with a doctor in Nigeria, because our training is still one of the best. How come people who go to I don't want to mention university, nobody gets offended, so very local university or university that you look down on, get to US and they come top of the class and they become experts, they become respected people? That shows you that it's not engineering, it's not engineering that's a problem. The problem is or engineering that's the problem. The problem is the society where they are operating. Okay, I've been involved with things before. Let me give you a sad example. Every year, I collect funding. I'm sure that people from over here, they can bear just what I'm saying. I'm paid royalty on a system that I invented in University as a lecturer. It was mocked, it was ridiculed. People even thought that this guy is just a joke. He's just going to enjoy his life. I out of frustration, left University in 1989. Sorry, I'm saying that here now. And I moved abroad to Saudi Arabia. First to England, then Saudi Arabia on sabbatical. To develop the same process. Less than 2 weeks that I was in the lab, people know that this is a product that they must grab. And today is one of the most respected, even that patent, the silver one, products in the world in my field. And till today, 1989 to now is 40-something years, I think 42 years. There has been no product, no system to replace it. It was invented in Ibadan. Not in UK, not in Saudi Arabia. Saudi
I like your optimism, and I think you're an optimist, and you've tried to look at engineering is progressing in the world. When you look at the advancement we've made in engineering, but we are trying to look at the engineer, the future of an engineer in the Nigerian society. Now, let me tell you why.
But before you go, let me just conclude. There's a lot of hope in Nigeria. Our children are doing so well now, IT in Nigeria, in fintech. There are a lot of multi-millionaire dollar Nigerians that you don't see because they are young. They are under 30, they're under 30, early 30s, who in the area of AI, artificial intelligence, and fintech and technology. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that one, yeah. They are doing very well. Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. They are doing well. That shows you what it's all about, okay? Am I making sense to you? So trust me, there's no engineering in Nigeria where people. Engineering is theory. Start from theory before you do practice.
Only this another dimension. You know, we had one of our guests, I think, a engineer Amana, James Edet Amana. He said when he was a young man in this country, because why I asked him that question was that he was offered a ministerial appointment as a young man. He rejected it because he had a lot of projects going on in the country then. So he preferred to face his engineering profession. He said at that time, he didn't need to know any minister. He didn't need to know anybody in the ministry. They advertise jobs. You don't have any physical contact. Even during payment, your payments are sent to you through bank draft and then send it to your post post office box, and then it was based on merit. It was, I know you encountered those systems growing up. Then what I'm saying is that every average young engineering graduate feels that majority of them feel there is no hope for them in engineering. And all the things they think of is when they come out from the university is all about how do they leave this country. Most of them are in the banking industry. You are in the banking industry. We are going to come back to that also. So they feel there is no hope for them. If for a young engineer to get a job, he has to know somebody, or somebody has to give him recommendation. You know, in those days, people like ASHIRU and partners, they were young graduates, they set up a firm at their very young age. Today, look at what they have done for themselves. Look at how ASHIRU and partner has grown. How many young engineers who are even first class can come up together and say, let us set up a firm like ASHIRU and partner with their, brilliant brain, and then without knowing anybody, break even in the industry, in the Nigeria of today. That's why I said, when you look back from where you are coming from and what we have today and where we are going to, do you think there is hope? Let me now put it this way. There is hope for young Nigerian engineers in this country with the way we are running the country, with the way we are going today.
Okay, are we finished? I'm still insisting that there's a lot of hope. And I'm also insisting that the system will sort itself out. You are still looking at engineering as the same engineering we are practicing. Engineering is changing. Look at architects, for example. Yeah. Once upon a time, you need slide rules, you need to be good at skill. Now, you tell AI, this is the house I want, it will be plotted and done for you, okay? The engineering that is coming in the future, people will not have to do any more designing. Computer AI will do it for you. And that is where our children are prospering and are doing very well now. The issue is that the engineering we are doing today is quite different from the engineering of the past. And the future will be much, much, much different. And our children are equipping themselves in the process. Luckily for us, it's like for example, slide rule. So, this guy used slide rule. Is no good. I was never good at using slide rule. It disappeared. Okay? Typewriter. I used to type for typewriter. Now, I learned how to use laptop. Then now, I can even talk now, and it'll be typing for me. Okay? So things are changing. People, consequently, the effect of government, society are going to diminish as we go on. I'm not talking about infrastructure now. I'm talking about engineer. Engineers are getting together to do things rightly, and that's what I'm making. For example, look at the area of road construction. Who will think, for example, that concrete will be viable to making road in terms of cost and everything? But now, people are now making road with concrete, which will last for many more years. And people are coming up with sort of research on the type of concrete to use to make a road stronger and better. What I'm making is that because I'm in the finance sector, I see a lot of projects that are being financed, and now people are paying back loans of $4 billion, $5 million, $10 million, young ones who are in IA, and also fintech, and also different areas of technology-based, data-based technology, IT-based technology, making a lot of impact. So that is very true. There are a lot of them, believe me. If you Google now, Nigerian fintech companies, Nigerian AI companies, in fact, most of them are even doing projects in India. I just left a board meeting now. I'm the chairman of a company called Fix and Fix. The company does a lot of IT process. And guess what? Most of our customers are in England, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana. And they are operating from Nigeria here. So that shows you that there's a lot of things that we can do that our young ones are doing in the area of technology and engineering. Yes, I agree with you. Some students now, people actually come from abroad to come and track engineers, but also people in Nigeria that are that are picking people from university, give them jobs. So the engineer that we are practicing today may not be useful and relevant in another 20 years. And our children,
I think I agree with you in some of the area. I know when we come to the corner kick segment, I know some of the participants will be, willing to throw some questions, ask you some questions so that you can throw some more light. Now let's go to the other things. Apart from being an engineer, you have, been involved in a lot of, things. You've talked about the innovative solutions you have, been providing for the pharmaceutical, for the gas processing industry. Now we talk about your involvement in finance, starting with you are a board member, a non-executive director in the First City Monument Bank, that's popularly known as FCMB. And also you have been the chairman of many organizations like the FOC Gas JV, you're into oil and gas. You are chairman of CSL, Stock Brokers Limited. You're also chairman of Crestmont Technologies. You are chairman of Trust. This one is for the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And also vice chairman of Tricontinental Oil and Gas Limited, and also vice president of Tai Solari University of Education Foundation. Then you are the pro-chancellor, which I have introduced before, of the Olabisi Onabanjo University. Now, how do you, first, tell us your involvement in this organization? How did you move from engineering to finance? And how do you combine all these activities at your age, 70? You still have time for all these activities. How do you combine them?
First of all, I thank God for good health. I also thank God for the opportunities presented before me. But they are quite easy. I can put them all into groups: finance, technology, oil and gas, and technology, and communication technology. I also involved in them in terms of efficiency, enhancement of productivity. So my role in those things, I would like call it engineering. What do I do in the bank, for example? I find ways to enhance productivity. I push him, and then so when you're a board member is somebody who governs. You don't manage. Management is done by the MD, directors, and general manager. Board member means you are governing, like a governor, like a governor. Even when you are made a minister, that's why you can have a lawyer. The last minister for works is a lawyer. And I think one time, Uncle Bolage was the minister for power. He's not a, I think he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer also. So you have people, when you are at this level that I operate, what is needed most is my life experience, my will to see things work, my common sense, and my knowledge, and also my analytical skill, and also ability to work with others, team. One of the first characteristics you must have if you want to survive in any organization is you must not fly this kite of being a professor. You must of all climb it up an ordinary man, or a market man, a trader. If you start to come in very academically, you only talk to yourself, but you can't even understand what you are saying. That is my first law, is I come down to nitty-gritty in things. You don't hear me throwing engineering terms to intimidate anybody. 2, I found out that in most boards that I belong to, people who have contributed best to them are people that are not even regular people you see. I don't want to mention, there are a lot of running people in society who are board members. I've been on board with them. What you don't mention is that I'm also in the board of a financial institution in Saudi Arabia. Half of the time, people are talking in Arabic. And I'm still able to contribute sometimes to affect, most of the time to affect the decision they make, even in the board meetings. So when in board, what people need is your common sense and your ability to learn fast and also to create improvement. Okay, that is what it is. I can one day I invited my nephew to a board we attended. I took permission, and then I asked him to participate. I was sharing that board, and he was shocked. I said, "What do you see now?" He said, "Almost everything I have an idea about this. This man said he's not said it. You see now, so that's what it's all about." Am I make sense to you? So what you must be agreed to learn, retrain yourself, take people's ideas, improve on it, put your ideas to people, let them jiggle it, and they make it better. That is what it means to be in board of companies. I want to be honest with you. That's what I do. And my own area is to improve productivity and efficiency, and also help the bottom line to grow. That is money, and also follow the money in any organization I am. What is the source? Where are we making money? What we should do. For example, let me give you an example. In another 10 years, 20 years, bank will not be what you see now. That you will never see any mortar and brick anywhere, branch building. I can tell you. I'm sure you are old enough, Ben. You used to queue for 1 hour to collect your 5 naira from the bank. You remember in those days? That does not exist anymore. People don't even carry cash anymore. I don't know the last time I have cash in my pocket. Can you imagine that ever happening? You don't have cash, those days you're a poor man, you know that in your pocket. But now, bank is now done, things are now done in the bank electronically. So technology is taking over the bank now. Bank will be a technology-based industry. And it's thanks to engineers. And the best bankers that I know, the last deputy governor of Central Bank is an engineer. Okay. Most of the directors I work with the bank study engineering in universities, and they are doing very well. So, and if I also go to other companies where I'm director of them, let me just look at one here. That's not going to do engineering. Let's say Crespon Technologies, which does innovative work in telecom. What do I do there? I'm not a telecom man, I'm not an electrical, but I still contribute a lot in making things work. Okay. Am I clear? So that explains my stand in that area.
And we are still on that. Let me ask, you are involved in a lot of community engagements, and you have also, done a lot of things for different communities. We are going to be coming on that. Now, you have been a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You're a fellow of the Academy of Engineering. I know you have been very, very active in the Academy of Engineering, and then you have strong passion for engineering. That's a society that you are a member of. You have passion in the engineering profession. Do you think, you just some minutes ago mentioned that Fashola was minister of, of what? And then Bola Ige was not an engineer, he was minister of power at a time. Looking at the Nigerian Society of Engineers of today, do you think the society is making enough impact in the society, compared to what we have in other, professional associations? I don't want to mention any of them. Do you think we are doing enough, or the engineering bodies in Nigeria are doing enough? You are a chairman of the board of fellows of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. Do you think we are doing enough? Are there things we need to do more? Are there areas we need to improve, both in our engagement with government, advocacy, and other things in line with our objectives?
Yes, I believe so. Rome was not built in a day. The journey has started. At least government now listen to what engineers have to say. Was not that before. And I must credit the past few presidents of Nigerian Society of Engineers for the role they've made in putting us in the right space, in the right perspective. I think we are doing so. And we have in position now. I mean, I was talking with a governor yesterday, and he said, "Oh, you have a very active lady as the chairman of Nigeria Soil Engineer. The governor was telling me like 2 days ago, actually 2 days ago. And it shows that they know we're there. And believe me now, I talk to a lot of people involved in decision making in this country. They are anything to do with engineering, they are very, very careful. They want to get engineers involved now. They know that a lot of mistakes have been done in the past, and they are trying to do their best to make sure that we are reckoned with in most areas. And you should also realize that medical doctors, we should not overdo it. Let me give you an example. If we over push more than what we are doing now, it can backfire. It can backfire seriously. So it's always better to let the things grow through a process, and that's what is going on at the moment.
Right. What is your biggest achievement in your life that, when you look up and you remember that, you say, you beat your heart and say, yes, I made it?
I think my big achievement in life is my family. I have 4 daughters, all married. I have no boys. I have no people to change any of them for a boy. And they are women of substance that have done so well in life than I can ever wish for. And to me, and also to have a very successful family life of 45 years of 44 years of marriage is also success. And I have a home that provided for me the base to which I operate. So my success in life is to have raised a great family at the end of the day. That is what I will always count. My daughter, one of my daughters, my last daughter, has the OKRA, OKRA, which is one of the biggest fintech companies in Africa now. At the age of, she's just 36 years old. She decided to come at the age of 23. That to me is a major achievement. I was part of the journey for the process to start. So, and I can say the same about different ones of my daughter. So my family life is my greatest achievement because it's the basis through which I operate and I work from. So that to me, I'm sorry, is what I will give you as my biggest achievement because it's my major consistency. Okay. If you ask me secondary accomplishment, I cannot talk about these are my inventions. These I've invented. The first ever shape memory alloy for aircraft, which is used for landing gear of planes. I'm one of the major inventors of that. The first alloy, first equipment to detect cracking in SAR production. First ever invented in the world, which is used worldwide now, all over the world, used in UK, North Sea, everywhere. I invented it. That's another major invention I can claim. I spoke about tin zinc alloy, which is anti-lubricant process, which is also protection for major equipment. That's another accomplishment in that area. So I have a lot of series of inventions that I can brag about or talk about, which are things that I've invented. Those are secondary things I've done in life. The other thing I can also say is my effect on the community. I contribute a lot to my community. First of all, I want to know I'm the Otumba Muiges of Ojebu land. I'm a very proud citizen. I'm a loyal lieutenant of Awujale of Ojebu land. I run community projects in Ijebu, including empowerment for youths. We've managed to take out of road area boys by training them in different areas, different skills. Not only do we train them, we also look for source of money to set them up in business and monitor that they are doing well in their businesses. Those to me are accomplishments I've made. And also, I can go on and on and on.
In addition, I know you may not, but I think that is a major also achievement in life. On the 11th day of October 2022, just 2 years ago, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then General Muhammadu Buhari, conferred on you one of the distinguished national honors in the country, and that is Officer Order of the Niger. Don't you think that is also another accomplishment? Big accomplishment.
I thank God for it. I'm happy. I thank God for it. And I thank the president also for finding me worthy of that. Sorry, I missed it out, but it's a major accomplishment. I appreciate it.
You know, sometimes, you know, you have, I like the way you have, you know, told us how you started your life, because one of the reasons we do these programs is also when somebody sees engineer Professor ASHIRU, he believes that, oh, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, that everything went well for him. They will not, you know that he didn't just started flying. He crawled in, he had
He
teething
fell
problems,
and stood up many times.
teething problems before he got to where he is. Now, in the book, Things Fall Apart, the main actor in that book was a man called Okonkwo. There was a time in Okonkwo's life when everything crumbled. And in fact, he thought that would be the end of the road for him, as Okonkwo, the great and the courageous man. But he was able to pull through. It was one of the biggest setbacks in his life. And in the book, Things Fall Apart, he said that anytime he turns back, or he turned back and remembered that incident of that farming year or that farming season, he would say, if I could survive this, I can survive anything. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you look, when you turn back, you say, if I could survive this, I can survive anything? Have you ever had any major setback in your life?
Many,
Apart
many.
from your early stage in life, in your business, in your career, that you survive, so that our participants can also learn from how you were able to, pull through out of those difficult situations and get to that point
Many,
where you can say, yes, I was able to survive it.
many, many. I will just
Sir,
give few examples. When I come back to Nigeria, I moved from Lagos to Ibadan to join the mechanical engineering department. The thought at that time is that after some few years, they'll be starting metallurgical engineering, and I'll be the pioneer faculty staff there. That did not take place. During the period, I set up businesses which were with a lot of money that I made from US, which were eroded because of a program that came in 1986 or 85, 86. Then they called Structural Adjustment Program. When you may not be active at that time to know about this, they call it SAP. It's the worst thing ever. The value of things, it became cheaper to manufacture everything to import anything to Nigeria, including pin or even toothpick, that to manufacture. I've just invested a lot of money in the factory. The factory literally collapsed on my face. But one thing about me is that my failures don't show on me. Okay. And also, one of the reasons why God has given me low blood pressure is that I don't get myself worried. I know that there's a scripture verse I know that God will never put in my way anything that is greater than me, that I cannot handle. That always in me. So I handled that process was in. But let me tell you one thing that's interesting. During that process, a governor in Ogun State at that time offered me a commissionership. And I just had my name in the newspaper without information. And I turned it down outright. I don't even give it a thought. It's still in sketch. Don't turn down commissionership. I turned it down outright. That I was not informed. It's not my goal. I still want to continue my academic work and still be town and gown. I never thought that I wanted to go and make money. I just thought I will survive this, and I did survive it. Okay. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is I can give you a lot of failed business I've started, and also business I've done. Just less than 2 years ago, less than 3 years ago, during COVID, I was in the US, and I had this prosperous company that is doing a telecom. And I left with my manager to run while I was in US during COVID. And I came back. A lot of money was what I put it, was stolen. Let me use was stolen, and then I still survived it. You get my point. And then luckily we grew bigger than that in that particular line of business. So, but in all this, one aspect I do is that I kept in close touch with all my, so a lot of my students are always around me, and I share a lot of things with them, and I encourage them in this area. I could see online many of my old students there. I can see again Akitola and all of them. They're my friends. There was a time that when I was active in the oil and gas industry as a contractor, almost every MD of major companies are my student, Watamudoja, or deputy MD or top level director were my students. They were very useful to me. And then we share ideas. I share ideas with them, and then we talk. So when I'm thinking that they are getting worried, what will happen to me after I leave? And I keep on telling them there's a lot that you can see do. I'm in touch with a lot of them. That is the way I look at life. You will definitely fall. You have to learn how to stand. And I never set up high standard for myself, by the way, in what I do. I aim high on that conception of low standard coming, but I aim high. So whatever happens, I always thank God for it. That's where I put it. It may look contradictory, but let me explain myself again. I aim very high, but the standard I expect can always be anything. So when it's higher than expected, I'm excited about it. I do not start anything with him that is going to succeed. I always know that it will not. And that's why I'm able to keep looking.
Sir, on the final note, what is your final shot? What is your advice for the young engineers and also young Nigerians of today?
Integrity and tenacity.
Say it again, sir.
Sorry?
Say it again, sir.
Integrity. People knowing you, trusting you, character.
Integrity and tenacity.
Tenacity. Never give up on anything. These are the two words I have for them.
On anything.
Say that again?
You said don't give up on anything. Integrity and tenacity. Don't give up on anything.
People must be able to. I can call friends now and tell them I need 200 million naira. It will appear in my account within hours because they know that I will return it back when I say I'm going to return it back. If I tell somebody I'm doing this, projects of university, people will call me, I want admission for my son, blah, 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 this, and it's called, I cannot get this into the university, it's too low. This I will try, but it will. So give your words. Don't ever do things that people will ever doubt you. So, and that's integrity. You must be somebody of good character and tenacity. Don't give up anything. Show hard. And do all the best. Things will happen. Those are my 2 words for anybody. And I always say that.
Thank you very much, Engineer Professor TOYIN ASHIRU, FNSE, FAEng, OON, Otumba Oyegeso of Ijebuland. I hope I got that correctly. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you inside the arena today. As I told you earlier, we have 3 segments of this event, and then we are done with the first segment. It's a pleasure to have you. I can see that our participants are already raising their hands. Our participants are already raising their hands, and we are going to open the other segment of this program, that is the corner kick segment, for our participants to ask you their questions. We have our rules. If you have a question, you click the reaction button, click on the raise hand icon, and you are going to be unmuted to ask your questions. And when you are unmuted, please go straight to the question so that we can have others to ask. The first is Engineer Ife Oyedele. It's a pleasure to have you as one of our participants today, sir.
Thank you very much, Ben. I think I was privileged to be maybe number 2 on this program a few years back.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
And it's my pleasure to listen to Professor Engineer Otumba ASHIRU. The truth of the matter is that I know many of the stories that he has told firsthand. But I also need to say that Professor ASHIRU is my mentor and a great motivator. One of the greatest attributes that I see in this man is his ability to spot talent, to spot intellect, to spot brilliance at very, very short notice. He sees what many people don't see. And I once told him that I like that people should be celebrated when they are alive. For me, it is futile for a man to be lying in the church, or and then people will come around and be saying good things about him. So I think this is one of the opportunities. When he was celebrating his birthday, I had an opportunity to do a recording, but unfortunately there was a mix-up, wasn't played. But I just want to also say this about Professor ASHIRU, that is a man of integrity, very, very, very transparent integrity. You see it, and he's one person who's, I hope that he will eventually release that much awaited book, so that a lot of young people can use it as a manual, to study, that when you fall, you can rise up again and also reach the pinnacle of your career. A lot of people, when they fall, they go into drug, they go into Yahoo, and so many things. But we have seen an example of a man who is from a wealthy home, who fell and then rose up again, and today he's a pointer, to what our lives should be. So I commend his life, and I don't want to ask questions. I know so many because I'm one of his mentees, and I know so many things about him. But I also pray that he will release his memoir very soon, so that the younger people, and even myself, that I cannot know everything about him. I wish that he had an opportunity to tell us about the jokes that he has, one or two of the jokes that he has told me, the day he went to a gay party, not knowing that it was a gay party, and all of those things. I think that there are things that will make this thing more, more enjoyable for us. I hope that he will have time to tell just one of those, because he's also, I don't know if some of you know his nickname. I wish you were there at the 70th birthday when he was really rocking. He's a man that is full of life, and he's just somebody that we should learn a lot from. Thank you very much.
Sure, we are going to give in some minutes later before we end the program. Maybe that will be the final shot to share the joke with us. I think I'll be interested in that. Engineer Kunle Adebajo.
Sorry, thank you very much, Engineer Ife, for your kind words. I learned a lot from you also. You are someone that we call consistent, persistent person. And ours is love at first sight. So maybe you are partial. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good afternoon, my dear brother, Prof. It's fantastic to see you in the arena. And thanks for all that you said. Unfortunately, I'm sure time doesn't allow me to say so many other things, just as has just been mentioned by Engineer Oyedele, that you are really a man of many parts. You are actually called Soul Papa. That was what he didn't mention it, but I'm saying it now for those. And you should see the way he moves on the dance floor. You would never call him a professor, but we thank God. I want to just ask you a question. You have clearly, you've excelled in the engineering profession, and interestingly enough, your story today shows that you did it in a way indirectly also by moving abroad or going outside these shores. So you were probably one of the original jackpass, and you have returned and you've done extremely well. So my question to you is, what would you say to the young engineers, the young budding smart engineers who are looking to go out? Would you say they should stay? Would you say they should go? Or would you have some other advice for them? Thank you very much.
Well, to be honest with you, you put me on the spot. Because if I say that, first somebody asked me that, but all your children are abroad. Yes, so that may be difficult for me to say. I'm somebody who will say as it is. I see opportunities in Nigeria which others don't seem to be seeing, that I can tell you. I've just told you my story. I was made a commissioner, I turned it down when commissioner was commissioner. That time there were only 12 states in Nigeria, 12 states or 16 states, I can't remember. I was made a commissioner, and there are only 12 commissioners by state. I turned it down outright. Okay, I even at the expense of my life, because militaries don't like being turned down. Okay, I was then 33, 34. I don't know where I got the courage from to say I don't want to be. You understand? But I told you about how I left the oil company. So I'm not a good, but when I left Nigeria, my heart never left Nigeria. Everybody to be back home, I'm always back home. And I know I'm going to come back. Even while I was abroad, I came to become Otumba. To an Ijebu man, or even Yoruba man, to be made Otumba, your territory means a lot. And I came back, and I was best opportunity for me to move to Nigeria. I started. I did not move in Nigeria. So if I just start going, they're going to come back one day, believe me. Because Nigeria will not remember, it's going to be better. Koreans left to US, they all went back. The Singaporeans left all over the world, they came back when things were better, okay? I'm sure things will be better one day. They cannot, everything that goes down the rail have a natural way of readjusting itself into betterment. And I've just told you that in the area of artificial intelligence, medicine, computer sciences, and some other technologies, those are going to, I'm talking about engineers, I don't want to go to other fields. Those are opening for us to express ourselves better, okay? It's not going to be, and then as time goes on, we can see that people are getting cautious to be ruled by better people. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen a video that is trending now of a House of Rep person that intimidated or treated a boat driver. Okay, see how people reacted to it. That could not have happened before. So our leaders will be made wanting to be accountable. Very soon, I can tell you, leadership will be now by what you have achieved, not what you have gained. And things are getting so tight that people know that, even people in government know that they have to start to show good credibility in terms of infrastructure. See the pressure on the making of doing some roads in some states, and the leaders in those states, the governors are trying to do those things. So infrastructure is a major problem we're having. That is the base. Safety, security, infrastructure, and also the major aspect of inflation which we're having at the moment, which will improve. So there are many reasons for people to escape. But then when we get out, I saw a video the other day from Canada. Things are getting tough in Canada for people to live there. So I will tell you that Japan did not just start now. It started way, way back. But those are with Japan, we came back. I was away for 19 years. I came back to Nigeria. I even left at the peak of my career where I was doing better there to take the risk to come back home. So what I will encourage is that let things take its natural format. Human beings are going to move. It's part of moving and going up and down. They are part of the dynamic of human nature. So, but I assure you that very soon, Nigerians will stay. Nigerians will start coming back home. That day is coming, and it's been a lifetime. So I don't have advice for them that to say, look, listen, do what you think is right for you in this situation, but always remember that Nigeria is your home, okay? And you will come back with the talent, with the money, and see that a lot of money that's come to Nigeria from, they call it expatriate money, or that's diaspora money that is flowing to Nigeria. I'm in the banking sector. I can tell you that if you know amount of money, one of the things that is stabilized now today is diaspora inflow. So all those things are there. Let's look at it. There are companies that, you know, Philippines, one of the major income of Philippines is sending people abroad to go and work and send them and pay tax on the money. That's where they make it from. They send their people, they have well-established centers. Like what a maid, you want an engineer, you want a technician, you want a doctor. You apply through that center, you go in, they pay a certain fee to government, and they so women going abroad to come and go is in nature. The only bad thing is that we try to become citizens when we go there, we forget about Nigeria. But people moving from country to country is about that part of development. Okay, I've jackpot 2 times. I left, I made land, I came back, I left again, made money, came back, and then I'm here now. And even I'm going on and off. So it's part of human nature. We can't stay in a vacuum. We can't stay in a vacuum. So in this interaction, we must mean well about it and assess and see how to fit into it. Thank you.
I think we take the last one, Engineer Camila Maliki. Then we wrap it up for today.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, the host. And Prof, this is a very, very inciting interaction, very, very illuminating. But the host asked one question, and I think you have tried to answer it now. But he wanted the opportunities that were there in those days. Because he said in those days it was possible for brilliant students of engineering come back out, stay together, and set up consultancy firm. And even within their office, they get opportunities. The position you have just cited, that we should wait, things will continue to change. How can somebody explain this to a very brilliant student who just graduated maybe with master's and distinction, first degree, first class, and you now tell him that he should just be looking out for something? It is, please sir, the opportunities that were there in those days, do we still have it? Thank you.
Unfortunately, we don't have it. But if you read between lines what I'm saying, maybe I should express myself better, is that the world is changing. Going out of Nigeria, coming back to Nigeria, looking for what abroad, it happen. It's a natural phenomenon of man. It is migration. But there are people that will never leave Nigeria, no matter how bad it is, no matter how tough it is, they don't want to leave. And there are people that will live in both sides. I see partially live abroad and I come and go, you know. But the issue here, let's be honest with ourselves, is that we cannot all say, you see, what makes a Nigerian, where we are unique is that Nigerians are one of the people that want to be Nigerian, enjoy Nigeria, and make money abroad and come and enjoy and spend it in Nigeria. That's okay. I'm not for people not migrating. Everybody should look at his opportunity, where opportunity is. And I can tell you that if you look at percentage, if only 10, 20% are comfortable with living in Nigeria, the others can go in, but they will still be coming back, I'm telling you. And they will come back one day. We call it brain drain. Those who have brain gain. And with a little bit of modesty, lack of modesty, I can say that I'm a brain gain to Nigeria. I developed myself in through international, working through international system, Japan, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, US, and whatever I've learned, I've brought it back here. It's a brain gain to Nigeria. So the same way, if some will still come back, to trust me, not everybody will stay abroad. Some cannot even the weather, family situations, or freedom, or more social life, we still bring some back, and some will go, some will come back. And some So people going and coming in is not a problem at all. We don't have problem of, it's not that we have a lot of jobs over people that it did not do. But as things get stabilized, things will get better and people will stay on. So I still encourage people to still stay on if they can. If there's not the opportunity, if they go, they should leave. Okay? My daughter, who is doing so well now, could not set up his company in the US, Okra. He had to come to Nigeria to set it up. And today it's one of the biggest fintech companies in Africa. She was front page of Forbes magazine about a year or two ago. Meet that Forbes magazine. She was that is an indication. She was living in America. She could not set up the company in America. She set up Nigeria. The company is now rooted in Nigeria. So if I have told her not to come back to Nigeria, that's my daughter here, front page of Forbes magazine. I'm showing this to you to show you a testimony, okay, of a child who set up a company here in Nigeria. And I'm also talking from an advantage point of view, being in the banking sector and knowing what they do for SME business and startup companies started by young Nigerians. You must have heard about Kunga. Kunga is set up by a Nigerian, by a young man. You must have heard about many like that. Engineer Ife's son, sorry I embarrass you, one of the pioneers of startup in Nigeria. The son set up a multi-million-dollar company in Nigeria here. Engineer Ife's on the line here. So it's not, there are many opportunities. I'm just talking about engineering. In medicine, there are a group of people who have set up hospitals, young guys who got together, university graduates in the area of medicine. They set up pediatrics and all, like one of the best hospital chains. So, but I rather talk about engineering. Okay, there are people who do leasing of equipment for farmers in Nigeria. They do equipment leasings, they develop equipment, and they're leasing to farmers all over the country. And they're making, I know their books because they bank with us in FNSE, and they're doing so well. I can go on and on about people who do a lot of great things in Nigeria. We should look at the positives, not the negatives, okay? And also encourage people who want to go out. Yes, I encourage people to go out if they need to go out, but I assure you they will always come back one day. And that to me is an advantage. Okay, some will come back, some will leave. That's where companies like Philippines, India survive. People go, people come over because of their situation and their economy at that time.
I think that is all for this segment. We want to thank all the participants that asked questions. I can see some of us are still sending in some comments on the chat box, but we get those ones later. Okay, we come to the final segment of this program, and that is where we put the participants on the hot seat. And today we have a cash prize, and I will not tell the participant where it is coming from, and then it will be won the sum of 50,000 naira by the fastest finger today. And that question we are all waiting for is this. Please, before you send the answer, you must hear go. I know most of you are too smart. You prepare your answers and you push in. And it has to be the answer. The answer and the answer. And the question is this. What year was it confirmed with OON? Go. Okay. Sir, what year were you confirmed with OON? What year? Sir, can you tell us the correct answer before we look at the person that that got it correctly? Hello, sir. Professor ASHIRU.
You're talking to me. Okay, I'm trying to ask you. 2011. Sorry, 2022, sorry.
2022. You were confirmed with the officer of the order of the Niger in 2022, and we go to the chat box. So you look through the answers and check who sent in from your own end. I can see from my own end, I can see here. I want you to confirm so that we verify from what I have here. The first person to send in the correct answer.
Engineer Ben Ibe for me.
Yes, that is what I have here also. Engineer Ben Ibe, can you please show us your face? Can we see you, please? Congratulations, you are a winner for today, and we want to congratulate you and say very big congratulations to you. And we want to use this medium to once again thank our guest, Engineer Professor ASHIRU, for appearing today inside the arena. It wasn't easy to get you to be our guest for today. We want to thank you for creating time to be here today. And we continue to pray that God will continue to guide and protect you and give you the wisdom and the grace to continue to contribute to the development of engineering in Nigeria and the other sectors of the economy that you play great parts in. We want to wish you all the best in your career as you celebrated 70 this year. We are looking forward to your 80th birthday celebration next 10 years.
By God's grace.
And by the special grace of God, we are all going to be alive to witness that. Amen. And to all our participants, we want to say a very big thank you. I can see an army of our very senior engineers. I may not be able to call all your names because of time, but I want to sincerely appreciate all of you for participating in today's, edition and for honoring our guests. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. And I want to assure you that the next edition, that is the 35th edition, is going to be a bomb. See you next month inside the arena season 35. And I remain your host, Engineer Ben O.C. Oko, signing out. Engineer Ben, you call me after the program. Thank you very much and God bless you.